everybody. What is going on? Chat, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, the jazz has stopped, and you can now hear my irritating voice. Please let me know. Did a little work on my OBS system last time since we streamed. So hopefully I'm a bit quiet. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. I'm also speaking quiet. Coming out of, we had this last time that I was just coming out of one ear. And I'm never sure why. OBS, I think it's my mic. So I've cranked my gain up a little bit. Let me look here. Okay. Can you hear me in both ears now? Is the question. Again, there's probably like a 10-second delay between what I'm saying and what I'm reading, so I will wait to see if you guys can hear me in both ears now or if it's still one. Sounds like left ear. So it sounds like still a bit of an issue. Okay, let's work on this then here a little bit. I know it's sometimes How about now? I switched it over to, I'm listening through phone speaker while studying, so can't help out there. I switched my microphone over just into mono mode for now. If this now sounds better for you guys, then we'll just keep it, and I will work on that issue before next time. But yeah, just switched it over. So let me know if this sounds better in general. It's not going to be as nice, but perfect. All right, then we'll just run with that. I am going to minimize a few screens here in the background. Close out Discord. And I'm going to try and keep, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to have the chat up on my phone. That way I can keep up with what everybody's saying here. I do have it popped out on the side, but I'd like to keep an eye on the stream as things are happening, just that way I'm not losing sight of anything. Okay. I'm going to close this out. A few more adjustment, guys. I promise. And then we will be there. How's everybody doing today? I heard you guys, saw you guys there talking about your day, how everything was going. Hope everybody is doing well. Talking about some Transformers 1, I see. Just drawing while I watched. Very nice brush. Guys, if you don't know, Brush Ranger, who's here on YouTube as well, He does a lot of videos covering Transformers games. He does a lot of great drawing and artwork too. Should really be brushed. I've been telling you, should be posting more of that stuff on your YouTube channel. I think it'd be an awesome opportunity to see that. I love art. Some more Delta lore for you guys here. I tried to become an artist at one point in my life. When I was much younger, I took art lessons. I took them very seriously, which I never really took anything schooling-wise very seriously, but I took my art lessons extremely seriously. And I pretty much, the teacher said, yeah, no, I can't teach him. So it just wasn't for me. But I love art. I appreciate artists who can draw, digitally, physically, whatever it is. I think it's absolutely amazing. But I cannot do it. So that's why it's always very impressive for me to see somebody else do it. Brad Foster, you're going to be watching Transformers 1 today. I would be careful just in this stream. I think a lot of us here have probably seen it. I'll probably talk about it a little bit later. I'll probably throw something up on screen that says spoilers. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. Trying to get out of an art slog. I can feel you there. Let me switch my screen over here. My monitor's a little too large to fit the OBS screen perfectly, so you have a little bit of cutoff, but that's fine. Gonna be doing some video editing on a Skybound video. Yes, I know. Lots of TF1 talk. Let's see what the chat is saying about TF1. It's going to be much different, but I thought I was happy how it went. No spoilers for me, but it was really good and just enjoyed it as an actual Transformers movie. I agree, TFC. Yeah, if you guys can, I'm not going to be monitoring the chat as I edit. It's a little too much for me. But if we can keep it vaguely, very spoiler-free for Transformers 1, I think that would be great. I think there's still quite a few people who haven't seen it yet. We're still kind of in the weekend of it coming out, and so I think it would be best to just be vague if we're talking about certain things and just kind of keep it spoiler-free for everybody. When it said producer was Michael Bay, it scared me. Yeah, I can understand that. A lot, at least, you can have different levels of producers. Sometimes it's just them, pumping money into the actual film and whatnot. It just depends. Okay, everybody, I am actually going to jump straight into editing here. So this video we're working on today is going to be a video about Optimus Prime. I haven't covered him since the conception of the channel. I guess the conception of the channel. That's the correct word. And so I thought it was about time that we went back and kind of covered him again. So I've already written the script for this video, and I have also already recorded all of the dialogue. And so we're gonna I need to find the audio file that I recorded, because it's just a bunch. What did I call it? I think it's weight of leadership. So a lot of the times what happens is I'll write a script and I'll put a title to it, and that title may change, and all the files are normally named along with that. So the audio is called the weight of leadership. We'll see if that's what it's called. I was thinking about calling it the weight of responsibility. So we'll see. I'm going to play just a quick portion of the actual audio that I recorded. Just that way you guys can let me know if my voice right now speaking to you live is unbalanced with the audio. I don't want people getting too confused with what. So here's me speaking normally, and then I'm going to play some of the audio that's been recorded. Let me know if you guys can hear it. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety when arriving on Earth. Oh man. I probably sound a lot more clearer, but let me know if you guys, if what the audio is like between my live voice and part of that recording that I just played. That way I can mess with whatever I need to mess with. Hopefully it doesn't destroy your ears. I apologize, guys, if it does. The burden of leadership. Yeah, that might be called the burden of leadership. That might not be a bad name. You know, the very one side of me wants to make it make the title exactly as similar as possible to my first video, which was what is it? A young Optimus written well. But I don't know if really that I'm going to do that. I kind of enjoy having the character's name, then a dash, and then the title of the video. Although then you get into some issues, like with my Transformers 1 video on Megatron. Is it going to be titled D16 dash and then the title, or Megatron dash? I would like to have it say D16, but Megatron is probably a name that YouTube viewers recognize more than D16, so thinking about that, it's probably a little bit better. Hey guys, let me know in the chat if my live audio is too different from the recording that I just played. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's fine if it's a little bit quieter. It's fine if what I'm editing is a bit quieter, because I'd prefer just to... What are you editing on? Link Frost, I edit inside of Final Cut Pro X. There's a lot of video editing softwares out there. Live audio is great. Thank you, Bresh. Final Cut Pro is a great program. There's a lot of other great programs out there. The main thing is that it's the editor, not the program. Live audio is great. Can you guys... Hey, let me know if you can hear this. I'm going to play this right now. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety when arriving on Earth. This great leader of war was able to put aside his past and behold the beauties of a world so much unlike his own. So unlike his own. Rather than cold metal and decimated buildings. You guys hear that? Let me know. Sort of make sure that that's going through. Optimus was a... All right, perfect. Sounds great. Looks like you guys are talking about Transformers 1 still in their chat again, guys. If we can, try and keep it spoiler-free. Okay, so the way I work through these videos, thanks guys for letting me know. That's great. Is I'll write the script normally in a day. I'll go back through the script and clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up, and then I will record the audio one day, and then sometimes I'll edit the video all on the same day, and sometimes I won't. In a case like this, I recorded this audio a few days ago because I was busy seeing Transformers 1 a second time and writing out a script. So what I'm going to do, what I always do first, is to go through the audio itself and just kind of cut out all the pauses and breaths that I take, because I take a lot of them, and to try and fix up all the sibilances and the pops and all that type of things. I do run a pop filter on my microphone, and yet somehow, well, not somehow, I know why, there's still quite a few pops here and there. I try my hardest to get around them, but sometimes it just is what it is. So his naivety when arriving on Earth. This great leader of war was able to put aside his past and behold the beauties of a world so much... I'm going to cut that down here just a little bit. of a world so much unlike his own. With your second viewing of Transformers 1, did you think it was as good as the first time? My review, my score of it that I did with my wife, I would not have changed. I've not changed my review score. I'm not really the hugest fan of using scores because just, at least in my mind, it's an arbitrary number. You know what? Who cares? But no, I did not change my mind on it. I think differently about some aspects of the film, but I don't dislike it. I don't like it less anymore. I think you get what I'm trying to say. Side his past and behold the beauties of a world so much unlike his own. Okay, so I did that. Take a second time. Much unlike his own. Rather than cold metal and decimated buildings, Optimus was amidst lush beauty. So a big thing that I struggle with when it comes to a lot of video editing, a lot of YouTube content is that there's almost the creators have so much to say that they just kind of speed through it all. And you watch the video, it's just like blah, 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 and it's like, oh my goodness. It's just like, it's so much. And so I try and keep as much breath and space as I can in my videos because I don't want it to sound like I'm rushing through. That being said, there are times when in recording the audio, I've kind of split up a sentence unnaturally because I'm taking a breath or I'm making sure I'm reading the right line. And so that's what I'm trying to cut down. But I also want to make sure, again, that there's enough time. So much unlike his own. Rather than cold metal and decimated buildings, Optimus was amidst lush beauty and strange wonders. So like that one right there, I'm going to keep. That kind of gap here where we say lush beauty and strange wonders. Lush beauty and strange wonders. I'm going to keep that one in there because I feel like we've kind of been rushing through some of this dialogue back here. And strange wonders. He quickly realizes how fragile this world is, and with every step, the ground sinks beneath his feet. This section here of dialogue is, at least in my opinion, just from my ear, takes a little too long, and so I was just going to cut that down a little bit. How this world is, and with every step, the ground sinks beneath his feet. Hey, in the clouds is in the clat. Wonderful creator. Let me check some of the chat here. Are pop-up ads in chat new or something? I am not aware. I know YouTube has become pretty horrible with their ads. Believe me, I've been frustrated with them over the amount of ads and how unskippable they are. Did you cry at any scene in Transformers 1? So, great question, Effective. Without spoiling anything, again, I'd like to try and keep everybody in here safe if they haven't seen it. I did not. I almost teared up at a scene, and it was because of the soundtrack. I maybe it's not spoilery. A certain part of the soundtrack was very evocative of the Transformers Prime theme, and that definitely made me. I don't think I cried, but I had a little tear. I was just like, yeah, there we go. Wonderful soundtrack. Suggest you listen to it after you watch the movie. It's not the soundtrack's not going to spoil anything, but I think it's better to listen to this to experience the soundtrack as the movie is going, and then kind of go back and watch it. So every step, the ground sinks beneath his feet. He learns a valuable lesson with not only the deer he accidentally kills, but also with Spike. He learns a valuable lesson with right here. I'm actually going to go back here a second. The ground sinks beneath his feet. He learns a valuable lesson. Right here, I've got a pretty nasty breath. Me breathing in, so I'm going to cut that out, but I'm going to try and keep a little space here. A valuable lesson with not only the deer he accidentally kills, but also with Spike, who is mortally. I'm also going to cut this here because I say, but also with Spike, and then take a break, and it should be kind of a complete sentence. But also with Spike, who is mortally wounded. This here I also know just from reading the script. Mortally wounded because of his actions. This is really supposed to be one thought, and I've kind of drawn it out over over quite a few of his actions. Volume 1 of Transformers Skybound ends with Optimus being saved by Sparky Witwicky. Once again here, I just know from looking at the waveforms and knowing how I speak what needs to be trimmed down and what should probably be kept. Saved by Sparky Witwicky in a last-ditch effort to make a difference in life. Here I am actually going to leave a little break, just that way, you know, the audience has time to understand what is being said. Make a difference in life. The full ramifications of Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown. The Matrix is still unknown. Uh-oh, suddenly it went quiet. Is Sparky becoming one with... Full ramifications of Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown. Let's get this. Chat, did you guys lose my audio is a question. It's still unknown, but we have seen some of the effects. We have seen some of the effects of is still unknown, but we have seen some of the effects of his action throughout the comic. I'm noticing I didn't do the greatest job in this script. I'm missing a few letters, sadly. Unknown. But we have seen some of the... Brushed asked, I know you said you were unteachable, but do you have any of your old art from school? And did you draw Transformers? No, I do not have any of my old art. Action throughout the comic. At the time when I was drawing, I was just drawing whatever the teacher wanted me to draw, which is like, you know, she was just trying to even teach me how to draw something in the third dimension, just in general. You know, I can draw stick figures. But no, I did not draw Transformers or anything. Of his action throughout the comic. Optimus's memories begin to meld with Sparky's. He has vision. Into Clouds asks, what editing system is this? This is Final Cut Pro X. Meld. It is Apple's editing pro, quote-unquote pro software. Apple likes to put pro on things. Everybody's saying that it's going quiet. What's probably happening is I'm talking pretty loud live, and then I'm not talking when I play the audio in the timeline, and so that's probably kind of the difference. It's probably a little jarring. Optimus's memories begin to meld throughout the comic. Optimus's memories begin to meld with Sparky's. He has visions of a past life that are not his own. He sees himself cradling Spike as an infant. He sees himself cradling Spike as an infant, and even spending Spike as an infant, and even spending time with him as a child. Optimus has no answer as to why these things are happening to him, or what they could possibly mean. So here I can just see there's all these breaks in the audio. Possibly mean, or what they could mean. Okay, do two takes here, so let's make sure I'm actually paying attention. As to why these things are happening to him, or what they could possibly mean, or what they could mean. I'm going to keep the possibly. I probably did a take without saying possibly because of the pop that I'm sure the microphone would have picked up. So, or what they could possibly mean. But as per usual, he continues to... Right here, this as per usual is one sentence, not two. Per usual, he continues to lead the Autobots forward, sacrificing his own need for that of his teams. Again, there's some breaks in here in the audio that I don't mind, and I definitely don't want the video to fly by, but at the same time, mainly what I try and do is keep those breaks when it's a larger concept that the audience needs to think about. So, sacrificing his own need for that of his teams. As Volume 2 kicked off, yeah, so I messed up the line there. We're gonna roll in. I use CapCut, thinking of switching back to something else, but I don't know. CapCut is great. CapCut. Here's what I tell people. A lot of people will talk to me about video editing, and a lot of the clients I have in my personal business of doing video editing. A lot of the times people will ask me, well, what video editing software do you use? And I always ask them, well, if I tell you what is that going to do? Are you going to change your decision? on hiring me. And the important thing is that you know what you're doing, and you can't know what you're doing until you jump into the program and start playing around. And so, there's other great programs like DaVinci Resolve. Premiere Pro from Adobe is pretty much the industry standard. I also run in that when I have to. Final Cut Pro is the software that I taught myself editing in when I was younger, and so it's just the most familiar to me. But there are times when I have to jump into Premiere Pro or even DaVinci Resolve because that's what one of my clients is requiring, or because it's that's the project file that I've been sent because it's a job that was never finished by somebody else. And so it's important to use the software that you are efficient in and that you know. That being said, I do think there's a lot of weight to learning new programs and to saying, hey, I really love using Final Cut Pro, but I'm going to go teach myself Premiere Pro just because. Maybe you end up liking it more. Maybe you don't. Pretty much everybody I work with in the professional video space hates Final Cut Pro. They hate it. They're like, I will never use Final Cut Pro. It's a horrible, disgusting program. And that's because when it first came out, it really was horrible. There's a great documentary on it. But then they'll see my work and they're like, oh, this is great. Did you do that in Premiere? I'm like, no, Final Cut. Because it doesn't matter your software. It matters about your skill and about what you're willing to learn. And so a lot of times people will ask, hey, what do you use? I'm thinking about getting it. I like Final Cut Pro. I think it's a great program. It's got some quirks. It's got some things that I really, really do not like. But, Premiere Pro has also got some things I really don't like. Premiere Pro has got some amazing tools that take advantage of AI, and I say that very carefully because I'm not an AI guy at all. But for instance, Premiere Pro can automatically annotate your video, so you can just feed it audio and boom, it's created automatic subtitles. Or you can say, hey, I have this hour-long interview with somebody, and I know at one point they talk about, I don't know, elephants. And so I'm just going to type in the search elephant, and it's going to find the moment the person says elephant. That is a huge time saver on my part when I'm working. And there's times that I decide to edit inside of Premiere Pro rather than Final Cut because I know it can do that. You can get add-ons for Final Cut Pro to do that that you have to pay for. But each program has its ups and downs. So use what you know best. But if you're looking to upgrade, then do your research. And pretty much everything has a free trial. Get that free trial, play around with it, see what you like best, and just it's about your skill and your growth, not the program. Into Cloud says, I guess switching to a more complicated Adobe editing software wouldn't be very worth it since I don't edit too much. Yeah, Into Clouds, I would, the Adobe suite can be very dangerous because of their tactics of how to pay for it. Something I like about Final Cut Pro is that you purchase it once and you get the license in perpetuity, so you never have to pay for it again. You get all updates for free. Now, if they come out with Final Cut Pro 11 or whatever, you're going to have to buy that, but I highly doubt they will. They've really done a lot of work on Final Cut Pro X. And Adobe's suite, you used to be able to purchase a software like Photoshop or Premiere Pro, and you had the license for that version and updates forever. It's just that if there was a major update, you had to pay for the major update. Now it's all subscription based, which, man, I don't know. Subscriptions are on everything, and Adobe makes it extremely hard to cancel your subscription, and then if you want to start your subscription back up, it's a nightmare. But they do also have a lot of good applications that all work together. Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, MediaBridge, Audition, Premiere Pro, so many of them. After Effects, the list goes on. But anyways, for that of his teams. I was getting into a rant, sorry guys. For that of his teams. As Volume 2 kicked off in issue number 7, we start to see... What I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to kind of go into a focus mode here. And I'm going to clean up my audio because I know what it needs to be. while you guys sound off in the chat, and I will keep an eye. We start to see a truer side to Optimus. We know him to be a kind-hearted and brave. We know him to be So here, we're going to cut that because I did that section a second time. We know him to be kind-hearted and brave. Effective, you're posting a lot of loading symbols. Are you having trouble with this? Is anybody else having trouble with the stream? Is it loading a lot? I'm trying to see if that's on my end. We know him to be kind-hearted and brave, but now we get to see how much he loses in order to lead. A key principle to leadership is that being at the top means you have most likely lost the most. Leadership can seem like a covetable position in life until you realize that you are okay, we're going to cut that because I missed the line. Position in life until you realize that you are responsible for everyone subordinate to you. Optimus knows this well. His actions do not affect him alone. Not having any trouble, okay. Effective, it just might be you. Oh, that's an emoji. Oh. Well, it's probably just not loading correctly on my phone. It does not affect him alone, but rather they have... This is a video I wanted to create for a while, but rather they have lasting effects on everyone around him. About Optimus and just kind of the weight of leadership. You know, I think a lot of people, I talk about this in this video, don't think about leadership, and they just see the guy at the top, they see the leader, and, you know, they think, oh man, that guy's, you know, you look up at your boss, oh man, that guy's life is easy. That guy's got it easy. He doesn't have to do anything. I got to do all the work. He just sits there. And I think a lot of people, and sadly, there are some situations where there are leaders like that who take advantage of that. But I think a lot of the times people fail to realize that the leader's at the top because he takes responsibility for a lot of what's going on. Rather, they have lasting effects on everyone around him. Nowhere is this clearer than with Jetfire. Jetfire, so right here is a good moment where I'm probably going to put in a block because there's supposed to be a break. There's a break here in the script. And what it sounds like without this break is this. Nowhere is this clearer than with Jetfire. Jetfire was... So I'm ending my sentence with Jetfire and immediately going back into Jetfire. Obviously, we need a little bit of a break here. Does not sound good to say Jetfire, Jetfire. Okay. Nowhere is this clearer than with Jetfire. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. However, since his arrival on Earth, things have not gone well for him. Optimus, in a great time of need, decides to... Gonna get rid of that breath right there. There's no need for it. Great time of need, decides to make the hard... But at the same time, it's kind of quick. Great time of need, decides to make the hard call and revive Jetfire, albeit in a mangled form. Without the ability to transform or to even see, Jetfire is brought back online to serve yet again in the Great War. He even asks Optimus as to why he wasn't allowed to sleep. Here I'm leaving some more of these pauses in because this is a more serious topic. Jetfire's fate, the fact that Jetfire was not allowed to rest as maybe he should have been. But again, Optimus being the leader has to make the hard calls. He even asks Optimus as to why he wasn't allowed to sleep, a question which Optimus struggled to answer. A question which Optimus... Okay, so I do this line twice. To sleep. A question which Optimus struggles to answer. A question which Optimus struggles to answer. I'm going to keep that second one because I prefer that break in between those two lines. To sleep. A question which Optimus struggles to answer. Optimus, as the leader of the Autobots, has had to make a hard choice, one that affects those around him just as much as himself. Later in Volume 2, Optimus is reunited with Elita 1, and is immediately challenged for his decisions. What happened to him? What happened to Jetfire? That's a good question. I don't think they have revealed yet. I will admit that when we got into issue 12, I was expecting kind of every Autobot to kind of have a wrap-up. Obviously, that's not what's going on. I'm sure we'll see him, just as well as Cliffjumper. We don't have a clear answer on Cliffjumper. Something that Moonbase 3 put in my ear when we were talking about it was that there's a lot to happen in that issue, and there's only 29 pages to get it done in. So I think they probably just decided, hey, we're going to have to keep some of these characters, their fates, for another issue, which I totally get, totally understand. There's a lot happening in that. For his decisions. Often in leadership, there are those who will question your decisions, even question your loyalty. They will say loyalty. They will say they could have done a better job than you. Questioning loyalty. Who would question Optimus Prime's loyalty than you? Or that you made the wrong choice in the moment? Nobody would do a thing like that. The truth is, in times of crisis, there often isn't much time to weigh the results of an action. Wait, so did Beachcomber just leave Spike sitting around? That'd be pretty hilarious if we cut to Spike and he's just on the beach alone with Astro Train. Poor Spike. That is my one complaint of issue 12. I understand that characters cannot, not everybody could be kind of fit into that issue, but I really was missing Spike. Obviously, Spike's moment in issue 11 where he says we have to do something is what spurs Beachcomber to do something, but I really was anticipating Spike to be the one who did something. But, Alita 1, depth charge, and knockout the people who would question Optimus Prime. That's true. And actually, I don't know if you guys saw, I thankfully was able to get a Beast Wars depth charge on my shelf. Very happy with that. Without spoiling it, thoughts on the new series, The Moon is Following Us. If you had to stamp a number rating, what would you give it? I have actually not read it just yet. I was going to run out and go grab a physical copy, which I don't do. I do not collect singles of comics, but I was so excited that I wanted to. And then I saw Danny Warren Johnson post on his Instagram that it pretty much immediately sold out. And so I called my local comic shop. I say it's local, it's about an hour away from me, and asked if they had it, and they were like, nah, it's gone. So I will purchase it digitally. That's what I do. I purchase all these comics digitally, and then I collect the volumes after the fact. But I will read it. I'm hoping that once the second printing comes out, I can also grab it, but I will definitely be letting you guys know what my thoughts on that. My chat isn't chatting. Well, my friend, I can see your chat. I'm not sure what's going on there. There is only time to act. Hey guys, I know you guys kind of just finished talking about Transformers 1. I'm actually going to pull up the chat. That way I can do a poll. If I can remember how. Start a poll. Okay, everybody. So here I'm going to put in this question. When should the TF1 Megatron video come out? So, and then here's gonna be the options for this. So this is the question of when should the TF1 Megatron video come out. I've scripted it, I've recorded it. It's probably gonna be around a 30-minute long video. Really proud of it. But here's my question: when should it come out? ASAP. Should come out as soon as possible. Wait for more time to pass. Oh man, I can't type as much as in here. Wait for more people to see the. I can't type. More people to see it. And then the last one, I really do want to wait to give people another chance. But here's the last one, and I'm going to let you guys. I'm not going to say what it is. That way you guys can actually vote on it. All right, start the poll. That last option is wait for the digital release. That way I can use footage from the film. I really would like to do that, but the problem with that, wait for more people to see it. The problem with waiting for the digital to release is a lot of time has passed by then, and I have the feeling that pretty much 90% of the footage I'm going to use from the digital copy is just going to get copyright strike by Paramount, which I totally understand. Totally understand. I like being able to reference something in the video and then show that clip, but at the same time, Brush Ranger, when is the digital release? We don't know. We don't know yet, actually. You can actually pre-order the Steelbook and Blu-ray, which has a digital, but yes, it is probably a month out. My guess is, let's see, it's September. My guess is probably sometime in November. I doubt it would be October, but yeah, vote. The main thing I want to know is if I should wait for the digital release or not. I'm going back and forth on that. The hype might go down in a month. It's true. It is true. Might be forgotten. It's true. Okay, well then it seems like from all of you guys, maybe make an Easter egg video when the movie is on streaming or in physical. I'll get to that in just a second. I will probably look into releasing the video next month. I have I have two videos scheduled for 3 videos scheduled for next month, but I can shift some things around. And the rest of the year has some big movies that might overshadow it. That's true, but also at the same time, I mean, you guys all know that the majority of my audience is Transformers fans, so. Copy and paste, you asked, maybe make an Easter egg video whenever the movie's on streaming or physical. I think that is a great idea for another creator. I'm sure there are already people who have practically finished up that video. For you guys, here's some more Delta Try-On lore for you. Personally, I cannot stand it when videos come out and they're like, every Easter egg you missed in a movie, and there's the red circle and an arrow on the thumbnail, and you go into it. And the reason I hate this is because, at least in my mind, an Easter egg is really like a deep cut or something. And you go into things and it's like, well, hey, did you notice this Easter egg? Megatron has the Decepticon sticker on his shoulder. And you're like, that's not an Easter egg. That's a part of the movie. And it's just so frustrating. So I think the word Easter egg has maybe been toned down a little bit. I do understand that as a concept for video, massive views. And I totally, YouTube is a rat race. Yes, it is, Brush Ranger. It really is. And I try my hardest not to get stuck in the rat race. I try my hardest to say, I'm going to create what I want to create. And if people are willing to watch it, then that's great. And if not, then I'm having fun creating what I want to create. I think a great example is the video most recently on the channel, which is the first episode of Delta Base. Super proud of that. Super happy the way it turned out. Having Swizz Prime on and being able to talk to him, that's my passion, is kind of doing interviews and talking to people. And it's my poorest performing video. And it will probably remain my poorest performing video on the channel. And I'm 100% okay with that. There's so many things that kind of go against what people expect from the channel. It's not directly related to Skybound. It's a 24-minute long video. If you kind of hover through, the video, it's just a static image. And so I understand from the YouTube kind of algorithm side of things and capturing an audience, it's just like, it's not as enticing as other videos, which is totally fine. Totally fine. I'm going to continue to do the Delta Base show. I love it so much. I actually already have the second episode recorded and scheduled. But I really enjoy doing it. In a similar way to Hollywood, not that YouTube is anything like Hollywood, you got to make the big stuff that does views in the YouTube case, that does views in Hollywood, that makes money. That way you can make the smaller stuff like Delta Base. So that's fine by me. Let me look at the chat here. In terms of figure videos, it's always whoever uploads the video first reaps the most benefits. I can see that. Easter eggs these days be like, wow, guys, look, young Optimus Prime is in Transform. Yeah, Easter egg. Did you know Orion Pax is actually Optimus Prime? That's an Easter egg. At this point, I have prioritized putting out something I'm proud of instead of rushing it. That's a good way to look at it. Link Frost. I think a lot of people lose sight of that because they want the instant gratification of views. I struggle with that. I still struggle with that. When I uploaded the Transformers 1 review with my wife, I was checking it constantly. You know, is it doing good? Is it doing good? And I had to tell myself, hey, you know, cool off. It's fine. You're proud with the video. It's time to move on to the next one. Will we get a Halloween special from you? Also, great first episode of Delta Base. Thank you, Copy and Paste. Halloween special? I don't have anything planned for it, so probably not. Maybe in the future. Way to make it not as static. Maybe as it grows, the guest talks, it bounces around. Yeah, I thought about doing a visualized equalizer on it. I probably will do that in the future. A lot of different shows do that. It's probably something I will do. Now I need to check out the Delta Base after the stream. Yes, I suggest it. Again, you can just listen to it in the background. I know, sadly, YouTube does not, unless you have YouTube Premium or whatever it's called, you can't play a video and lock your phone. I wish you could, but you know, hopefully it'll let you do it in picture-in-picture. We are more than meets the eye. Give a subtle, yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, he said we are more than meets the eye. That's an Easter egg. You know, like, okay, so here's a good example. Light spoilers. At one point in Transformers 1, Alita says to Orion, you don't have the touch. Would I consider that an Easter egg? I don't know if I call it an Easter egg. Maybe. I don't know. Megatronus Prime is an Easter egg, yeah. Let me look here at the chat. For the next video I'm doing, I did a short teaser of it. It did pretty well, but I'm hoping it won't overshadow the final video. Yeah, you know, Link Frost, that's something that I've experienced is sometimes I'll make a video I'm really proud of, and I'll always do shorts to kind of promote it, or even just show little clips of it. At least in my experience, and I have very little experience with YouTube Shorts because this is the first channel that I've run in the past maybe 8 years that I've ever tried YouTube Shorts. Sometimes it feels like the audiences are completely different, and I get it because when I see a YouTube Short that I enjoy, I don't normally go to the full video. It's like, hey, I like that, and I scroll away. So I feel almost like they're different audiences sometimes. Hey, Delta, just joining. Want to say thanks for making great content. Keep it up. Of course, thank you, Xander. Honestly, I might have to try your thing for the views. I know stress about a bit, might not relax. Yeah, if you're like me and you have the, here's what I try and do when I upload a video. I promote the video. You know, I have some shorts go up. I have a post. I normally do premieres for my videos. That's not for everybody. I let it upload and I try not to look at it for the day. At the end of the day, I'll go look, see what the comments are if I need to respond to anything immediately. And then after that first day, I try my hardest not to constantly look at it. But it's hard. It's really hard because you want it to do good. You know, you want people to see your thing. And YouTube's really good at letting you know when something's not doing well. You know, it's like, hey, this video is doing one less view than your last video. You might consider changing the title or making it unlisted. You know, you have to be vigilant to not let YouTube get in your head like that. I also hate how the shorts I half-assed in 30 minutes almost always outperform better than the videos I spent months on. Yeah, Link Frost, something to keep in mind is that obviously somebody clicking on your full-length video and then clicking off doesn't count as a view. I don't know how much view time YouTube takes into account to make it a view, but for shorts, and this is to my knowledge, somebody may be able to correct me, for shorts, if you scroll to a short and then immediately scroll past it, that counts as a view. I think views are weighted differently between full-length videos and shorts. So I do YouTube for fun, so the views are just the cherry on top for me. That is a very good way of doing it. Xander, also, do you plan on making videos on Cobra or Duke? I read them and thought they were fantastic additions to the EU. I have not actually read any of the G.I. Joe comics yet. Xander, do you know if they're doing them in collections, in physical paper, trade paperback collections? Because I just got my Void Rivals Volume 2 in, and I'll read them digitally, but I like to collect them. Let me know if they're going to put those in a physical format, because I would definitely pick those up and try them out. Just curious, are you going to do a video on Fall of Cybertron? What do you just curious. I will probably do a video on Fall of Cybertron, yes. after doing the War for Cybertron one in a while. And maybe by the end of the year, or maybe next year. Link Frost, I totally agree. Post full videos and parts in shorts, and the shorts have infinitely more views. Kind of ticks me off a bit. Cobra is great. I'm going to jump back into editing. Xander, I'm going to keep an eye out for your comment about if the G.I. Joe comics are being collected. I guess I could check TF Wiki. You know what? Let me check TF Wiki normally. Because there hasn't been a straight G.I. Joe comic yet, like titled G.I. Joe. There's just been kind of these, I hate to say one-offs, like Scarlet and Duke. Skybound Entertainment. Sorry, guys, I'm clicking through here. Yeah, because they've done Duke, Cobra Commander, Scarlet, Destro, and G.I. Joe. They have released Duke and Cobra in trade, and they're also making Duke and Scarlet minis that are about to come out. Okay, all right. So they are being collected like that. I wonder why. Oh, and there is going to be a G.I. Joe comic, okay, coming in November. Okay, so here, let me click Duke. Okay, Collections, Duke Volume 1. Okay, and then Cobra Commander Volume 1. Scarlet. Man, I'm going to have to collect Destro, too. Man, I'm going to have to collect all of these volumes. It's going to take up a lot of space on my shelf. So, thank you for letting me know, Xander. I really appreciate it. How long do you think Energon Universe will last? Like 3 to 5 years? You know, I don't know. If we get 5 years out of Skybound, then I'll be really happy. I know that... I'm blanking on his name. I'm so sorry, guys. The guy who... Actually... I have it right here. Kirkman. I know Kirkman made Walking Dead last forever. Maybe it's still going. I know he did Invincible, and there's a lot of Invincible. So it's hard for me to believe that they would end it anywhere less than 5 years. So if it continues to be good 5 years down the road, I guess we'll just see. We'll have to hope for the best. I have faith. Gotta hop off. Thanks for having me. A good stream. Hey, thanks for hopping on, man. Not much of a spoiler, but in Scarlet, she mentions Netflix. So does that make the Energon universe take place in the current year-ish? I think possibly, Brush. That's a hard question because I think it's probably current year. I think Daniel Warren Johnson has specifically steered away from putting an exact year on it. But given Sparky's PTSD, which seems to kind of line up to, the space shuttle crash as well as the Vietnam War. This is something I covered in my Sparky video. It seems like it's modern day time. Do you think Skybound will fall off after Darren Warren Johnson leaves the comic? I don't know. I want to believe it won't. It depends on who's going to be writing after him. Daniel Warren Johnson obviously has a vision for his 24 issues. I know a lot of people are complaining like, there's a lot of death and a lot of these like main characters are getting kind of killed off. And I understand the worry about that, but it's obvious to me that Daniel Warren Johnson has a story he's trying to tell. And then when he's done, he's said many times that he wants to tell the Generation 1 story. He wants to keep it G1. And so in my mind, he's got those 24 issues laid out and that's his. And when he's done, he's off to the next thing, which is great. So then it'll just be up to whoever's taking it after him if they're going to continue that or kind of go their own direction. Half expecting Kirkman to pick up Transformers. Possible. I don't know Kirkman as well. Again, I'm reading Void Rivals. You can see my review on Void Rivals on the channel. We'll just kind of see what happens. Okay, I'm going to close this poll. Nobody voted for wait for the digital release. That makes me feel happy. Phew, that makes me happy. You think we'll ever get Studio Series Skybound figures? I don't know. The team mentioned it. I don't really see the point. I feel like we already have quite a few figures that can act as Studio Series. Optimus Prime, for example. Earthrise Optimus Prime, great figure. I'm still waiting for my Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. He could technically also work for that. I do think it's funny if we do get Skybound figures, because then Hasbro is making a figure of Optimus Prime, is making a figure of an Optimus Prime who's based off of a third-party figure. Hilarious. But let's get back to editing too while we're here. I love all the questions, guys. I have the chat on the side, but I'm going to get back to this video here. It's of an action. There is only time to act. With every action comes consequences. I probably should have done a little more of this work before stream, that we could get into the visuals, but consequences. And it is up to the leader to make the best possible move with what he or she is given. Okay, so here I fumbled my line. Make the best possible move with what he or she is given at the time to work with. Is there anybody who would like to see write Transformers? Not off the top of my head. I'm actually not a big comic guy. I can talk about that at another time, probably in another stream, my kind of history with comics in general. Okay, Delta, here is the hard-hitting question. Skybound Optimus or Fortnite? Do you mean Fortnite Optimus Prime versus Skybound Optimus Prime, or are you just asking me if I choose Skybound Optimus Prime versus Fortnite? Then, following this action, to reap the benefits, whether they be positive or negative. Elita holds a grudge against Optimus for his decision to leave Cybertron. While we don't fully know why Optimus left, he does say that it was for the good of Cybertron. Elita rebuts this reason and continues to question Optimus's loyalty to the Autobots. Oh, Swizz Prime in the chat, coming in to watch me edit. The big man himself, just featured on Delta Base. Everybody go watch that episode. I've yet to experiment with giving my Optimus Prime a Megatron arm, but it would be cool if they made one that could actually use Meg's arm like a smokestack. I agree with that. Thoughts on Galactic Trials? I have not seen any gameplay, but it's a game. It's a game, you know? There's Swizz coming in, stealing the show. To the Autobots, saying that since he left, nothing good has come of their home. Big Dog swooping in with his 10K, man. In issue 11, Delta Armada Prime is peak. Got him today. If you guys are in Swizz's Discord, then you'll know there's a little grudge with me and a buddy of mine who just casually ordered Armada Optimus Prime, Legacy Armada Optimus Prime on Amazon and got him the next day. And he was like, "Yeah, it was no big deal. What's the problem?" So now everybody's getting them. Nothing good has come of their home. In issue 11, this rift between the two is furthered when Elita bursts out in anger. Brush, I need to go watch your videos on Galactic Trials and see. Anger, asking about the countless dead Autobots on Cybertron who fought in a war that Optimus began. Here we see the truth. According Transformers 1 underperforms, do you think instead of sequel we could get a series instead? I highly doubt they would do a series if it underperformed. Just because of if it underperforms, they just drop it. I don't think it will underperform. If projections are correct that the movie only costs $75 million, I think it'll do just fine. And I think also the reception of the movie is helping out quite a bit. Boyanania, hey, what's going on, man? Man, we got everybody in here. We got all the heavy hitters in here. Man, what am I doing sitting here editing, listening to my own voice? Got everybody in here. Here we see the truth. According to Elita, the war on Cybertron was Optimus's doing, and even more so, he has left the... Ooh, now we're getting into the part of the video. Now we're getting into the part of the video where Optimus and Elita are fighting. Mom and Dad are fighting. And even more so, he has left the conflict for others to deal with. An action that a leader should never do. Hold on a second. Wait, what do I say here? An action that a leader should never do. Oh, I thought I was supposed to say Alita here, but I'm saying a leader. But it does kind of sound like I'm messing up the word Alita. Listen to this. To deal with. An action that a leader should never do. Never do. As I stated in my video about Alita, her and Optimus's relationship, a liter 2. A liter? How much does that weigh? It weighs a liter. It's funny because I wrote the script and I read it. And now I'm listening back to it being like, what? What did I say? Her and Optimus's relationship has not yet been fully explained. Great, we just created new Delta Trion lore, a liter. I call her a liter now. Explained. However, through the writing and penmanship of the comic, it is easy to see that there was a great split between these two. Now I'm going to have to commission some art of what a liter looks like. Optimus has made the hard choice in life. There's a lot of pops in, and I'm sure for you guys as well, but in this recording when I'm saying Optimus, I really need to work on that with my recording studio setup. Optimus has made the hard choice in life. Optimus has made the hard choices in life. Okay, so I redid that line. These two. Optimus has made the hard choices in life. Guys, I promise we're getting near to the end of the audio here. I just need to push through this audio, then we can get into visuals. Ones that have caused a rift to form between old friends. As a leader, he has to make ones that have caused a rift to form between old friends. As a leader, he has to make decisions that best serve the greater good, rather than the immediate needs of his friends. He has endured more than any other Autobot during the war, but that endurance is running low. I'm going to keep that break in there because I like the pause during the war, but that endurance is running low. Optimus is not beyond fault. Optimus is not beyond fault, guys. Optimus is not perfect. I mean, he's perfect in my eyes, but... Please keep a liter in the video as a blooper or something. I wish brush, but it is true that I'm saying the word a leader, but it's right after I talk about Alita, and because of the way I slur my words sometimes, it sounds like that. I'm sure some people will be like, in the comments will ask why I'm calling her a liter. As we see in issue 12, his emotions have boiled over. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, spoilers for issue 12 of Skybound. I'm so sorry. Spoilers if you guys have not read issue 12. I'm pretty sure everybody's caught up on it, but this audio is about to get into what happens in issue 12. He is tired of the constant back and forth of the war. He is tired of seeing everything beautiful be destroyed around him. All you do is take away what is good. That line right there really was... super powerful, and I'm actually going to find the visual for that real quick, where he's walking towards Shockwave, and he says, all you do is take away what is good. All you do is take away what is good. That's such a simple line that just conveys so much, and it's just such a wonderful line, and I'm gonna move us up here right there. All you do is take away what is good. And I also find it funny because this is such a powerful moment, and then you've just got Shockwave pouncing here. I absolutely love it. It's just fantastic. Not only fantastic artwork, but it's just fantastic writing. It's efficient writing. Spoilers, Optimus got flashback from Dark of the Moon. Yes, yeah. Dark of the Moon, Optimus Prime's back. So I'm just going to leave this here just kind of as a note for me that this is the frame that needs to be around him. All you do is take away what is good. Optimus has reached the end of his rope. I think this right here, if I recall correctly in the audio, of his rope. Optimus is horrified at... Yeah, so right here, if we listen, Optimus has reached the end of his rope. Optimus is horrified at his own actions. So let's say Optimus has reached the end of his rope, and then the next line is Optimus is horrified by his actions. This is, I don't have a note here, but this is supposed to be a break where the video is going to focus, just kind of zoom in on the visuals of what's going on here. Actually, it's going to be the next frame of the comic. That's going to be that. Let me go grab that next frame. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, so we're going to start there. Kind of as a powerful moment for people. Who would you say is definitely dead? Even Derek Warden Johnson has alluded to the fact that future writers may bring B back. Yeah, I'm sure B will come back. I think it's important to keep in mind that Daniel Warren Johnson is keeping his core cast of characters dead. I may be wrong. He may bring back other characters, and I appreciate that. I understand that characters are going to be brought back to life, but I appreciate that at least Daniel Warren Johnson is kind of sticking to his story to say, this is my story. These characters will probably stay dead. So I appreciate that. And I think that bringing back those characters in the future cheapens this? If it was Bumblebee died in issue 1 and then issue 3 he was brought back, I would be upset. But I think enough time will have passed that'll be done perfectly fine. See you, TFC. Thanks for stopping by. All right, back to the video here. Optimus is horrified at his own actions. Even in killing the sadistic Shockwave, Optimus. Can we talk real quick? I know I said let's try and keep spoilers for Transformers 1 low, but can we just talk about how Shockwave is always portrayed as this sadistic, sick character, and yet he is probably one of my favorites in Transformers 1. I felt so bad for him, especially when he said, "Oh, she poked my eye." Dude, I felt so bad for Shockwave. He's like, I love Shockwave in Transformers 1. I know some people didn't like his voice, but I loved him. I just wanted to give him a hug, man. Poor dude, you know. What we using to edit Boss Swizz? Great question. We were talking about this earlier. I use Final Cut Pro X, and I was telling everybody here it is not the program that matters, but it is the skill of the editor. I use about 6 different editing softwares in my day job doing editing, but Final Cut Pro is the one that I'm probably the most efficient in, and so that's what I use. Seeing Transformers 1 again tomorrow. Awesome. Swizz, what will that be, the 7th time you've seen Transformers 1? Denial of his past actions. In denial of his past actions. I think Shockwave was kind of done dirty. Absolutely no respect given. I can agree with you. That's honestly kind of why I thought it was hilarious, because he is such an imposing villain, and he was kind of a nobody. I found it to be somewhat comical. His past actions. Elita welcomes back the Optimus she once knew, but he rejects this. This offers us a glimpse into why Optimus had left Cybertron in the first place. But the rift between Optimus and Elita finally tears the two apart for good. As Elita begins her plan to harvest Earth of its resources, Optimus is once again faced with the weight of leadership. So I did this line 2 times. Optimus is once again faced with the weight of leadership. Standing amidst... Okay, I'm going to do a little break right there. Leadership. Standing amidst Elita, who is begging him not to abandon Cybertron for a second time. Okay, so that's a full thought there that I need to cut back together. Cybertron. For a second time, Optimus Prime makes a sacrifice he dare not ask anyone else to make for him. Do I do that a second time? Hey, everybody. I know my voice cuts out there a little bit at the end, but that's fine. So now, okay, all right. We've done the audio, guys. This section here is the kind of the end rambling. I'll work on that later. I'm actually going to mute that. That way we're not going past it. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on visuals. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I constantly reuse visuals. So I'm actually going to pull from my Alita video, if I can find it. And I actually have quite a few files that are missing. And so I need to relink these files. And so while I do that, 1 second. Still here, guys, don't worry. Just need to relink these files, but to do that I have to go through my my master folder, and I don't really want, no offense guys, I don't want all of y'all looking at all my folders. I want you to see all the illegal movies I have downloaded. Totally. I'm just going to do a straight search for these files. But it's going to relink. I'm also doing this just in case Final Cut crashes. All right, here we go. All right. Let's put this back. Here we go. All right. So before we get into this too much, here's what happens when a new Transformers comic comes out. I purchase the digital copy on Amazon. I read through it, and then I end up purchasing the volume collections. Now, the files I use for my videos are pulled from a website that uploads the comics for free. This is somewhat controversial, I understand, but my ability to pull these comic panels from Amazon is really just a nightmare, and it's never been easy. Here's the I'm gonna be real with you guys. 100% always you should pay for the comic. I think so. Again, I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm using panels that are from a website. But still, 100% you should be purchasing the comics. Because if you enjoy it, then it's worth time. And they're really not that expensive. It should be worth your money to read these comics. I say that as I scroll through, you know. I think as long as you buy it, you're fine. Yeah, I can understand. I can understand both sides. And I can understand being somebody who does not purchase them and reads them online. I used to do that all the time. Man, if we're going to throw people in jail for, you know, watching movies online that didn't pay for, man, we've all got life sentences. But anyways, I wanted to say that just to be upfront about that. But, okay, so the beginning of the video, I'm actually, I'm going to pull up the script for this video. Optimus Prime, Weight of Responsibility. And I'm just going to have that here on the side of my screen. It's probably not going to show up for you guys. That way I can kind of read through. Sparky. Okay, so we talk about Sparky, last effort to make a difference in life, full of ramifications. Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown. Okay. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the Death with a Purpose video. And again, there's a lot of files here missing. But we kind of started this video. Well, this is just the Death one. I guess I'm looking for my Sparky video. Here we go. Overcoming PTSD. Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff here that's disconnected. Hold on a second, guys. Let me reconnect some more of this media. You get a look at Zalak looking very upset for a second. Relink. Okay, relink files. What I used to do, actually, it's interesting. I keep all of my editing projects. I'll sometimes move them off to a different. I'm actually going to mute my screen here for a second. I switch them off to a different drive when I'm done with them. But the very first video I did, can I even find it in here? a young Optimus Prime. Oh man. A young Optimus Prime is pretty much almost completely missing files because I wasn't pulling the full frames of the comics. I was just taking screenshots of the comics, and that's why a lot of this is unusable because I don't have those screenshots anymore. But that's okay. Back to Sparky. Okay. So we start this new video talking about Optimus, and we kind of get into his relationship with Sparky. So rather than reanimating a lot of these panels, I'm going to go back and use what I can from other videos to capture these moments. And so I'm actually going to take these because this is the moment where he and Sparky talk. I'm actually going to take all of this right here. Yeah, I'm going to take all of this. And then we're going to jump back into... None of these are the way of leadership. And we're going to find where I talk kind of about that section. So let's see here. Old metal and decimated buildings. Optimus was amidst not only the deer he accidentally kills, but also with Spike, who is mortally wounded because of his action. Okay, here. So here we're talking about Spike being mortally wounded. So I'm going to turn down my volume here just a bit so I can think. So I'm going to see right here. So we're going to drop that. In a last-ditch effort, the full ramifications of seeing some of the deer he accidentally kills, but also with... So right here is where he says, but also with Spike. So I'm gonna just see how this works. It's a valuable lesson with not only the deer he accidentally kills, but also with Spike, who is... You think TF1 is the new movie continuity or its own thing? Yeah, they mentioned that it is a new continuity. It is a new continuity. That being said, I'm sure they will find a way to somehow link it to the Michael Bay movies. You know how it goes with Transformers movies. But it is, yes, a new continuity. Even if TF Wiki won't separate it from the movie universe. But anyways. But also with Spike, who is mortally wounded because of his actions. Volume 1 of Transformers Skybound ends with Optimus... I'm actually going to cut that out. I think we can just go straight to Spike. Kills. But also with Spike, who is mortally wounded because of his actions. Volume 1 of Transformers Skybound ends with Optimus being saved. Okay, so then we're going to jump into Optimus being saved by Sparky, which I don't think I pulled that footage. Totally fine. We're going to go back into the Sparky video here and find where that happens. It's right here. So I'm going to pull these three that have already animated. This just helps save some time. Ends with Optimus being saved by Sparky Witwicky. No, I don't want that one. I want the one where he's walking in. With Optimus being saved by Sparky Witwicky in a last-ditch effort to make a difference in life. I think we can get that there. And what is this? Oh, this is the Mighty. The full ramification... There we go. Difference in life. The full ramifications of Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown, but we have seen some of the effects of his action throughout the comic. Optimus's memories begin to meld with Sparky's. Volume 1 of Transformers Skybound ends with Optimus being saved by Sparky Witwicky in a last-ditch effort to make a difference in life. So, let's work backwards now and kind of see what we're working with. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety when arriving on Earth. Pretty sure... I'm pretty sure this video... Sorry guys, my wife and I just adopted a new dog today, and so I hear him barking outside. So I just want to make sure that everything's okay. I'm looking in here for some of those early shots. Oh, you know what? Those early shots of Optimus are in Death with a Purpose. Oh, it's Death with a Purpose. I'm pretty sure I have some scenes in here where he's talking. I want to see the puppy. Guys, I will get a photo of our new dog here in one moment. I gotta find where I've used these panels before. Is it in the Innocence video? Oh, look at this guy. Who is this guy? Doggy name yet. Steeljaw Ravage. He is a black dog. That would be hilarious if we named him Ravage. Dog did come with a name. The dog's name when we got him was Thor. I'm not against the name Thor. We're not a huge Marvel family. We don't dislike Marvel. There's nothing about that. But he's young enough that we might rename him to something else. We haven't yet decided yet. Where is the scene, guys, of Optimus and... I guess I just don't have it in here anymore. I guess I just don't have this scene of Optimus and Spike sitting down talking about family. It's such a great scene. When we last spoke about Optimus... Thor Ravage. That is, I don't know why I didn't think of telling my wife, hey, we should name him Ravage. It's a Transformers character. Let me pull a photo for you guys. Of the dog obviously has taken center stage of the live stream. Totally fine. Totally fine. Well, actually, before I do that, let me pull... Well, I'll probably just pull this video. Because we already have a dog, and I want to make sure that how can I do this? You know what? Can I not just throw this into Final Cut? That is one thing that's a little annoying with Final Cut. You can't always just throw in media that you want. I know this is taking a little bit longer, so I appreciate everybody putting up with me here. I'm gonna do a little trickery of the system here. Photo of the dog is coming soon, I promise, guys. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Boom. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that dog. Get that dog. All right, here we go. All right, everybody. Okay, here we go. Dog reveal. This is our dog, Bella. She is... I'm going to mute this here. She's a dog. We don't know what she is. When my wife got her, they said she was a Chihuahua. She's not a Chihuahua. She barks like a Chihuahua, but she's not a Chihuahua. She's a pretty big dog. So that's Bella. We've had her for quite a while now. And then we had the opportunity to get another dog, which, again, his name is Thor. We might change his name. We'll see. He's about 1.5 years old. And there's Bella reacting to her name being called. This great leader of war was able to put aside his past. And behold, there's Thor. A long-haired black wiener dog or dachshund. So, yes, calling him Ravage would be hilarious. I just need to get a little Decepticon sticker and place it on his head. I'm pretty sure that's where Ravage had his Decepticon insignia, was his head. Or maybe that was Laserbeak I'm thinking of. He might have had it on his hind leg, on his hip. But yeah, there is Thor. Very sleepy boy today. Very sleepy. Dog is a great leader of war, yes. Ravage is a jaguar, not a dog. Yeah, it's true, but we can just pretend it's not. So there's the new family member that I'll be going down to see here in just a minute. But good doggy, good boy. They're learning to get along. It's, again, it's just the first day. Bella's a very skittish dog. She's very scared of everything. And Thor is very loud and very in your face. So we'll see how they interact these coming 2 weeks. So we're fostering Thor with the intent to keep him. So Ravage is a Ravage. Yes, we know that. Shockwave even said, "You kicked my Ravage." He's a Cassetticon. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel. Okay, something that I will talk about video editing systems. Final Cut Pro, I'm not the hugest fan of how they manage media. You can see it manages it by when something was uploaded in. I could do a better job of managing my media. I'm not really the best at doing that. And so now I'm in the situation where I have to dig through to find the comic panels that I'm trying to find. What I do need to do, I need to do this on a day off from work, is go through all my comic panels and number them correctly for the panels that they're actually for. That way they're not just randomly numbered. I can go, hey, I need something from issue number 10 or whatever, and I can just pull it. That's something that I need to do. Always, always, always keep your media stored correctly. Don't do it like me. Don't become lazy, where you just have to scroll through every single panel to find what you're looking for. Keep it clean. Keep it collected. That's the way to do it. I say that, I guess, as a semi-professional. Not a very good professional. It helps tremendously, and it speeds up your work time like crazy. So here's the panel I want, though. I did start to work on it. Okay, now when it actually comes to animating these things, I just use keyframes to move from a panel to another one. So when we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety when arriving on Earth. This great leader of war was able to put aside his past and behold the beauties of a world so much unlike his own, rather than cold metal and... So I'm going to cut this here, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to look for that first scene where he first kind of takes step onto Earth, and he's like, you know, what a beautiful world, which I don't think I put in my folder. So I have to go hunting for it. Again, guys, it's really important to not do what I'm doing here and to have things collected correctly. And so, because that way you can avoid being in a situation like I'm about to be in, where somehow, for some reason, I do not have that panel saved of Optimus taking his first steps out onto Earth. And so now I got to go get it. Hello, just hopped in the stream real quick. Been working on a short film. May end up changing my profile, and I'll make sure to resubscribe to this channel. Love your videos. Thank you, Mr. He. I just make my files and use search bar to find it. Not a single folder in my entire laptop. Wish I did, though, sometimes. I'm a big folder guy. Folders and folders on folders. So you're not going to see anything happening on screen. I'm going to my source for comic panels, and I need to grab this panel that I didn't have. When I first started the channel, again, I was just doing screenshots, and then for my second video, what I did was I pulled just what I needed, and it would have been a lot smarter for me to just pull every single issue as they came out, and numbered them and collected them. That way I wouldn't have this problem. And so now it's something I have to deal with now, but that's okay. Oh, it's not issue 1. That's right. I'm getting this mixed up. It's issue 2. Is it not where he steps on the deer? Organize your files, said everyone, continuing to not organize their files. That's true. It's 100% true. Yeah, it's issue 2, not issue 1 that he steps on the deer. I always think it's issue 1. My memory on what happens in what issue is always a nightmare. So here we go. All right, here we go. So for the most part, I really try not to have a single panel for a long stretch of dialogue. I find it to be a little cheap. On my end, I want to have enough cuts and enough interesting actions. That being said, in this section, this whole audio right here is all about Optimus beholding Earth's beauty. And so I am actually probably just going to do that, where I'm going to start at the top here. We're going to add in a keyframe. We're going to go to the end of this, add in another keyframe, and then we're going to I'm going to move this down, and I'm also going to, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to scale this in. I'm going to turn on my wireframes here. That way I can kind of move it. And so basically what that is done with the keyframes is that's the animation, where the animation is going to go, so we can check it. Kind of zooms in on here. So let's make sure that matches what I'm saying. When we last spoke about Optimus Prime on this channel, we covered his naivety when arriving on Earth. This great leader of war was able to put aside his past and behold the beauties of a world so much unlike his own. Rather than cold metal and decimated buildings, Optimus was amidst lush beauty and strange wonders. He quickly realizes how fragile this world is. Okay, so actually we kind of go straight into... We don't really talk about how fragile the world is until this line. He quickly realizes how fragile this world is. And so it's not technically accurate to go into that frame next, but that's kind of all we have. So I am going to keep that. I'm going to use the manual one here. We're going to go add. We're going to go back to the end of this panel, and I think we're going to end it here. We're going to kind of zoom in like that. And so, rather than cold metal and decimated buildings, Optimus was amidst lush beauty and strange wonders. He quickly realizes how fragile this world is, and with every step, the ground sinks beneath his feet. He learns a valuable lesson with not only the deer he acts... So actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to extend this. So I'm going to extend this clip right here. Nope, not change duration, sorry. So I've extended this just so you guys can see. I've extended this clip, but I have not changed the keyframe. So it's just going to stop and sit here, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go show video animation. I'm going to jump in here, and here's the keyframes. And I'm actually just going to extend this to the end. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you got to zoom in. As you can see, it's not technically at the end. Come on. Again, not every video editing program is perfect. Final Cut definitely has some issues. There we go. Okay, maybe there's an easier way to do that, I don't know. But now that's going to extend. It's going to go a little bit slower to kind of fill that time. Step, the ground sinks beneath his feet. He learns a valuable lesson with not only the deer he accidentally kills, but also with Spike, who is mortally wounded because of his actions. Volume 1 of Transformers Skybound ends with Optimus being saved by Sparky Witwicky in a last-ditch effort to make a difference in life. Something I got to do before we go too far is I have to put in the spoiler warning, which I had. I'm just going to pull from Alita's video. Sorry, guys. Alita from Alita's video. There she is. Alita. Not Alita. Alita. Weight of leadership. We're just going to plop that in. When we last spoke about Optimus, spoilers for Transformers 1 through 12. Okay. Cool. Moving forward. To make a difference in life. The full ramifications of Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown, but we have seen some of the effects of his action throughout the comic. Optimus's memories begin to meld with Sparky's. He has visions of a past life that are not his own. He sees himself cradling Spike as an infant, and even spending time with him as a child. Optimus has no answer as to why these things are happening to him. Okay, so here we're talking about Sparky being inside of the Matrix and Optimus dealing with kind of the ramifications of that. I know for a fact that I don't have those panels because I've never really covered it. And so I need to jump into that issue, which I think is issue 7, because issue 6, yeah, it would be issue 7 where that starts to happen, where he starts to have these flashes of Spike as a child, which I think is a very interesting thing. I'm really excited to see kind of where that ends up with the comic. I know a lot of people were shocked. I was too when Sparky first went into the Matrix and we're like, wait, you can do that? What? But I think it's a neat concept, kind of, you know, that it's more than just an Autobot, or Cybertronian thing. It's, you know, possibly more connected to all of life in general. So what I'm doing right now off screen is I'm running through and pulling the scenes of Optimus having visions of Spike. That way we can throw those in there. So we got that one. And then we're going to throw this one in here too. Okay, right. And those should be good for now. Difference in life. The full ramifications of Sparky becoming one with the Matrix is still unknown, but we have seen some of the effects of his action throughout the comic. Optimus's memories begin to meld with Sparky's. He has visions of a past life that are not his own. He sees himself cradling Spike as an infant, and even spending time with him as a child. Optimus has no answer. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do here on this one is we're going to start this clip, again, kind of up in the top left quadrant, like we normally do. We're going to pull this in, and we're going to jump to the very end here, add in another keyframe. I'm actually going to zoom it out, and that's too much because now we can see the black around. We're going to zoom it out kind of down here, just like that. And so it's going to kind of expand out. So we're going top to bottom. That way in this one we can go bottom to top. I try my hardest not to go top bottom. And we're gonna push in real close here. Like maybe a little too close to his eyes. Okay, we've added in our first keyframe. Jump to the end, add another one, and where I want it to end is up here with baby Spike, but I do want to give us some more breathing room here. So how far can we? We're going to go that far, and then we need to adjust that. So it's gonna kind of expand out and go up. Perfect. About the comic, Optimus's memories begin to meld. Deltron, I sent you a new drawing I did a few days ago. Thank you. I need to check that out. With Sparky's. He has visions of a past life that are not his own. He sees himself cradling Spike as an infant, and even spending time with him as a child. Optimus has no answer as to why these things are happening to him. So this is a section here that's really good to talk about. I don't really know what visuals to put here. Optimus not having an answer. I mean, technically, I'm pretty sure in these frames, he's like down here. Actually, you know what? I just said that I don't have a frame for that, but I do. I was going to say I normally skip a section that I don't have anything for, and then I just come back to it. But Black Hood, what is up? What's up? So I am actually going to use this. Let's see here. Optimus has no answer as to why these things are happening to him, or what they could possibly mean. But as per usual, he continues to lead the Autobots forward. So we're gonna cut this here because we talk about him leading the Autobots forward. I'm gonna want to show that. So we're gonna put in our keyframes here, and we're gonna start. Turn on my wireframes here. We're gonna start him here, and then this last one, we're gonna end down here. Okay. As a child, Optimus has no answer as to why these things are happening to him, or what they could possibly mean. But as per usual, he continues to lead the Autobots forward, maybe show him looking over the arm and saying something came over me. I think that's in issue 12, and that is something that we will get to. Buy yourself an energy drink, you'll love it. Thank you, Black Hood. I will. In fact, you know what? I actually have some Liquid Death tea up here. Love Liquid Death. Love the brand. I might open one up here in a second, but I don't want to be slurping on stream. What happens if you send a super chat or whatever to a guy who doesn't have a digital bank account? You just lose money? No, I don't think you can set up super chats unless you have your bank connected, to my knowledge. Again, I'm sure Google knows way better than I do. As a child, Optimus has no answer. He continues to lead the Autobots forward, sacrificing his own need for that of his teams. Should get some Mountain Dew? Man, I love me some Baja Blast. I sure hope they never take away Baja Blast again. As Volume 2 kicked off in issue number 7... No, you're good. You're good, man. Don't worry about the topic. We will actually... That is a good point that I do need to have that frame ready for when Optimus looks at his arm and wonders what's going on. But as per usual, he continues to lead the Autobots forward, sacrificing his own need for that of his teams. As Volume 2 kicked off in issue number 7, we start to see a truer side to Optimus. We know him to be kind-hearted and brave, but now... So right here we're talking about Volume 2. As Volume 2, which picks off with issue number 7, which I'm pretty sure I have the cover for that. Well, you know, here we go again, guys. I'm saying, oh yeah, I've got the cover or the frame for that, and then I probably don't. I am sure I have. Yep, yeah, I do. There we go. So this is the cover. I don't think this is the cover for... This is the cover for issue 8, but I'm going to use it because it's the cover. Whoa, hey, hello. It's the cover for the Volume 2 collection. So I'm going to kind of pull this up. Actually, you know what? I actually don't think I am going to use this because I'm not talking about Eliter just yet. So I'm actually not going to use that. I just don't want a visual to not match what I'm saying. Did you enjoy Transformers 1? I did, Black Hood. You should check out the spoiler-free review I did with my wife. Hey, you know what? That's another question. Let me pull a... I really hope the movie is a success in the box office. Me too. I'm actually going to hop in the chat here and do another poll. Start a poll. If I can type correctly, guys. I'm trying to type this out and not say it out loud. Look at that. YouTube knows, yes or no. All right, new poll, guys. Start poll. There we go. Should I do a spoiler review, unscripted spoiler review of Transformers 1? I did, again, the spoiler-free one with my wife. I try and make sure that my videos are somewhat unique on the platform. You know, I don't want it to just be, you know, the 30,000th video on my spoiler thoughts. But I'm going to let that run for a little bit while I keep working. Per usual, he continues to lead the Autobots forward, sacrificing his own need for that of his teams. As Volume 2 kicked off in issue number 7, we start to see a truer side to Optimus. We know him to be kind-hearted and brave, but now we get to see how much he loses in order to lead. A key principle to leadership is that being at the top means you have most likely lost the most. Leadership can seem like a covetable position in life until you realize that you are responsible for everyone subordinate to you. Optimus knows this well. His actions do not affect him alone, but rather they have lasting effects on everyone around him. Nowhere is this clearer than with Jetfire. Jetfire was great. Okay, so here we're talking about Jetfire, and I'm going to leave this blank for now because I want to kind of focus on the panels that I know I need to have to show this off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my panels with Jetfire, which is heartbreaking. My good buddy of mine, Blur Tryon. Yes, yeah, that is something very common. I edit at higher speeds just to kind of get through the audio. And what's funny is this speed for everyone subordinate to you. Optimus knows this well. His actions do not affect him alone, but rather they have lasting effects on everyone around him. That speed is what a lot of YouTubers use just as their normal speed. I feel like they just, again, to each their own. Everybody make their content however they want to make it. But for me, I try and leave a little more space in my videos. If I sped my videos up, they would go from 8 minutes to 2. I also don't want to make my videos so overtly boring and long that nobody watches them. But anyways. Nowhere is this clearer. Optimus has the fate of his people in two worlds, makes his decisions to save as many people as possible, which is never an easy choice. Exactly. And that's something I think that a lot of other characters struggle to see in Optimus, that he has so much, so many people's fates in his hands, and that's why every decision he makes is going to be scrutinized, you know, as a leader. Then with Jetfire. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. However, since his arrival on Earth, things have not gone well for him. Optimus, in a great time of need... Your videos are never boring. Thank you so much, Otto. I appreciate that. Not gone well for him. Optimus, in a great time of need, decides to make the hard call and revive Jetfire, albeit in a mangled form. Without the ability to transform or to even see, Jetfire is brought back online to serve yet again in the Great War. He even asks Optimus as to why he wasn't allowed to sleep, a question which Optimus struggles to answer. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I try not to use a single panel for an extended period of time, but I'm going to use this one because there's a lot of dialogue on screen. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to end. I'm not going to go all the way down. Whoops, I always do that. I'm trying to move the panel. I'm going to go down as far as I can, probably to just like right around here. And then I'm going to take this panel again, same panel. Come on, there we go. Same panel. And then we're going to end it with more of a static shot of this, where he says, I cannot see this. This is heartbreaking, by the way, guys, when he says, I cannot see the stars. Just absolutely gut-wrenching when he says this, because you feel it, you understand it, you know. Again, it's such efficient writing by Johnson. You know, we don't need Jetfire. I mean, there is a lot of dialogue in the scene, yes, but we don't need Jetfire to say a lot to know how much he's suffering. And him saying, I cannot see the stars anymore, is just, it's heartbreaking. And you can see on Optimus how heartbreaking it is, because it's just, it hurts. You know, it's a situation that hurts. Does Optimus somewhat lose his ability to transform at some point? Saw a comic video with him talking to a cancer patient. No, he's still able to transform. He still can transform even with Megatron's arm. He's just transforming for the kid. Oh yeah, Brush just said that. He was drawn to show kind of mid-transformation, which was fun for him. Optimus, in a great time of need, decides to make the hard call. Optimus as to why he wasn't allowed to sleep, a question which Optimus struggles to answer. Optimus, as the leader of the Autobots, has had to make a hard... Okay, so then that means that this area back here, this needs to be actually some really early... I need a Void Rivals cover for this. And I also need one of those really early panels where Jetfire first comes back online and is trying to revive everybody. Daniel Warren Johnson did say in the comment section, I think I don't know if it was on issue 12 or 11, that Jetfire will probably never catch a break. Sadly. Poor Jetfire, again, which is a huge deal for a friend of mine who loves Jetfire. Jetfire is like his favorite character. But actually, now that I think of it, he's also the same guy who got that Armada Prime just off of Amazon just one day very casually. So, you know, maybe that's just the way it goes. You know, you get Armada Prime, Legacy Armada Prime like that, and then your favorite character just gets beat up. No, I like Jetfire too. I actually would love to get a Siege Jetfire. I think the figure looks amazing. I saw there was a comic store that I visited on vacation that had him for like $80, which I would pay for. That I would totally pay that price for him if he was in good condition. I didn't check him, but I wonder if Daniel Warren Johnson was channeling the "Why won't you let me sleep" for having to bring him back. Probably. Okay, let's see here. Jetfire was graced to have his own... where am I going to pull Jet? I'm going to pull Jetfire in here. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. However, since his... Okay, I'm actually not going to really use any of that and just go right into here. This needs to be some Void Rival comic panels, and so we're going to go add... We're gonna go right in here, and we're gonna go from Starscream, add another keyframe, and we're gonna kind of pull this out so we can see the larger picture of Starscream blasting him. introduced us all to this new universe. However, since his arrival on Earth, things have not gone well for him. Optimus, in a great time... Yeah, you can tell things have not gone for him. Real wise of you, Delta. Wow. Very smart. Oh, I love it. I love it. I know I have a Void Rivals cover of Jetfire. And I think what I'm going to do is probably in my Void Rivals folder. Duh. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use that here. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. I think I'm going to use that rather than actually using a piece from Void Rivals. And I'm going to start on Void Rivals, and I'm going to see what this looks like. Because the screen is moving quite a... Hello, that's always the wrong one. Because the screen is moving quite a bit, this might be a little too fast. So let's see here. Jetfire. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. I think that's fine. Hey, Barry's in the chat. What's going on, man? Hi, Barry's. Thank you for admitting you're an addict. It's hard, man. Lasting effects on everyone around him. Nowhere is this clearer than with Jetfire. Jetfire was graced to have his own spotlight in the Void Rivals comic, wherein he first appeared and introduced us all to this new universe. However, since his arrival... Barry's videos are great too. Barry's, I'm pretty sure you have... Yours is the series lore for Cybertron, I believe. Great series, guys. You should watch it. No worries, Barry's, at all. I get it. No worries. A question which Optimus struggles to answer. Optimus, as the leader of the Autobots, has had to make a hard choice, one that affects those around him just as much as himself. Later in Volume 2, Optimus is reunited with Elita 1 and is immediately challenged for his decisions. Often in leadership, there are those who will question your decisions. So this video obviously needs a lot more work. Some different sections in here. It has almost been 2 hours on stream, guys. I'm probably going to wrap it up here, but before I go, I do want to give you guys a sneak preview on next week's video on what's coming out. Yes, mac and cheese goes hard, absolutely, 100%. So this is the video that is coming out. Oh, man. Lots of disconnected media here, unlinked media. This is the video that is coming out next week. I don't remember exactly when next week. But it is a video that's going to be covering rescue bots and Siege. I know. Do I have a death wish? And the answer is maybe. Comparing rescue bots to Siege. Let's see if I can... Both are made for different audiences, but overall, Rescue Bots does a much better job telling its story. Siege and its following chapters do have memorable moments and intriguing ideas. Wonderful moment. There's just a little sneak preview. I don't want to get too far into the video, but yes, the video starts with us talking about Robots in Disguise 2015. Definitely an interesting show. Definitely very interesting. And I do talk about it, but then we get into Rescue Bots versus Siege. This is definitely one of my most opinionated videos. I mean, all my videos are opinionated. They're all my opinions, but this is definitely my most opinionated one ever. So we'll definitely see in the comment section when this video comes out next week how it's received, So the comparison to series and Rescue Bots caught me off guard. Brushed Ranger, don't worry too much. I don't get too far into RID 2015. I don't know if I'll ever make a video on that. Again, I think there's been plenty of content out there already made for the show. I don't think I have much more to say about the show that has not already been said, which is also why I haven't done videos on Siege. When I first started the channel, I thought about it. I thought making, big retrospective videos on Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom, kind of like how I did my War for Cybertron video, which I bet you a bunch of its footage is all disconnected. But I also thought, we've had a lot of people already talk about that. But we've also had, there's been a lot of War for Cybertron videos coming out, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll log into YouTube and there's all these new videos, like retrospective videos talking about War for Cybertron. It's great to see so many creators covering it. I don't know anything about Rescue Bots. Autobell, I don't blame you. It's obviously was a show that is targeted towards very young children, and so not knowing anything about it is not a bad thing. But I do think that you'll find enjoyment in next week's video where we kind of do a comparison about it. Little Me did not like RID. Yeah, RID definitely, I think, has more negatives than it does positives. I think you can probably always find some positives and things, and I think it's good to be positive. But I definitely can understand, having watched through RID, 2015 RID, understand why people were not the hugest fan of it. Apparently Rescue Bots is better than RID. Well, you got to wait and see what I say in this video next week. Let me actually check for you guys real quick before I hop off. Let me jump into the back end of my YouTube channel. YouTube Studio. Oh, hey guys, Road Russell just uploaded his videos, his video thoughts on Transformers 1. I'm definitely going to be watching that after I hop off stream there. Love me some Road Russell. Great content creator. Hopefully maybe one day we can have him on Delta Base. Hint, hint. Go watch the first episode of Delta Base if you can. Hint, hint. If you don't want to, I totally get it. I love you guys no matter what. Anyways, videos. YouTube Studio, that's what I'm looking for. RID Optimus is very childish. Yeah, I think that's a big issue with RID 2015 was Optimus for sure. IDW versus Skybound, which one is better? That's a really tough question. I don't know if I can answer that in the time I have left here. Next week's video is coming out September 25th at 10 a.m. There will be some there will be a YouTube short to promote it. Tomorrow? Is tomorrow Monday? 24th. Actually, hold on a second, guys. Let me check my schedule here. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday, the new video goes live. I know it's a little bit of a wait, but I also want to give the first episode of Delta Base a little more time on the channel. I know it's getting like one view every 2 hours, but again, totally okay. I love making the show. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by on the stream. I really appreciate it. I was a little worried that an editing stream might be a little boring. Ended up not doing a whole lot of editing because I ended up talking to you guys, which is always such a pleasure. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting the channel. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. It's just such a huge blessing. Thanks for hopping on the stream, taking the time to watch how I make my videos, taking the time to listen to my rambling, and all of that good stuff. Thank you guys all for coming. I'm gonna hop off here, go watch Road Russell's new video on Transformers 1, pet the new dog that my wife and I just adopted today, probably eat some dinner, and probably go to bed because I gotta go to work tomorrow morning. Sadly. Not sadly. That's life. Gotta work. Thank you guys so much for jumping in the chat. Oh yeah, hey, I have graphics for this. I built graphics for this. Not BRB. That's the technical issues. What is it? There it is. Thanks. There it is. Yeah. Thanks guys for stopping by. I'll see you on the next one.